Welcome back to Game-Based Learning in the World Language Classroom, the why, what, and how. We're on section 3 of my book, The How. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, Japanese, and English to high schoolers out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. If you want to help me work on these games, contact me at the Minecraft Education Ambassadors or the Minecraft Teachers Lounge, the Duolingo Educators Network, studio-nemo.com, or RockStem, and I'm going to be talking about RockStem a lot in this episode. Also, I may be distracted because a bird has flown into my classroom, and I cannot convince him where the door is. So he's resting right now after our little chase of me trying to usher him out the door. We're on chapter 20 of my book, so if you hear some nice chirping in the background, some musical singing, it's the bird. A multitude of musical games. In our previous episode, we've been talking about why to use music, and we've been talking about the importance of TPR, total physical response, how to embed culture and why it's important to embed culture into the songs, repetition to learn targeted vocabulary. We've talked about a lot of stuff. So maybe you've got a bunch of kiddos that just don't like to sing for whatever reason. Maybe they're in the silent period. Maybe class dynamics are just conspiring against this group of kids, but you still want them to get that crucial repetition, and you still want them to listen to a variety of songs because you know that you can embed the culture into it. So I was struggling over this one holiday season, and my brilliant colleague, Kathy, who teaches German in Pennsylvania, she was putting together this kind of round robin tournament elimination for advertisements for commercials around the holiday season. And I said, thank you. That's how I'm going to do this. Okay. So I went through all my song collections and I was like, okay, I'm going to pair a song that the students have never heard before. I guarantee they've never heard this before, with a very traditional song that they know in English. Okay, but you know, it's the holidays, so of course there's the original Latin versions, and then each language has translated the song. So we'll pair them together, and then I'll have the students vote on what they like, and at least they're listening to these songs, and at least they're getting a little bit of exposure to the culture. And I was really happy with this because I even got to sneak in Ocho Candelicas, which is sung in Ladino, which is a combination of Spanish and Yiddish. So it's really cool to show the students how language changes. I mean, we got so much culture in that. But yeah, this worked very well. It worked so well that this year, finally, all the little gears were turning around in my head, and I took it to the next level. And I really have to thank the World Language Teacher Summit. Norma Jones had this fabulous idea for a worksheet. And I have been whipping that out once a week. Tune Tuesday, Martes Musical, Mardi Musical. It's just one time a week, and I just have the students listen to songs, and they just comment on it. And this is working so well. Like, the students were so looking forward to this every week that I'm going to do a whole nother video on this. So stay tuned. And I talked about this in RockSam. So we know that total physical response aids in memory retention, and there's so many good children's songs that have movements that you're supposed to be doing while you're singing the song. So these are hokey pokey type games, okay? So for French, I would suggest Jean Petit qui danse, Savez-vous planter les choux, Le Casbah, I teach for left and right, but then I have the students write more lines for more body parts because otherwise it's just à gauche, à droite, à gauche, à gauche, à gauche, you know. Sur le pont d'Avignon, we talked about a little bit earlier. I teach the basic dance, and then I have the students each choose an animal or profession. We go through all the animals, or for some classes, we go through all the professions, and then they add other people or animals to the song, and then they put the movements into the dance, and that's super fun. For Spanish, I would suggest Dos Manos, Dormilona, Mi Burro Enferma. Those are all great songs. Las Calaveras. Or, there's lots of good jump rope rhymes. I love Brinca la Tablita. For Japanese, we've got Jankenpon, of course. And I do huge things with that, which I think I've described already. Ippon Bashi has a lot of good arm movements with it. Okina Taiko. and get the students banging a drum. Now this one, Musunde Hiraite. I've heard this one when I was in China for a while, and I heard it in Chinese, but it doesn't sound like a Japanese song. It doesn't sound like a Chinese song. I used to teach piano and voice and guitar. I've never heard it in English, but the chord changes are very Western. So I suspect it's not really a Japanese song. It's not really a Chinese song, but you know, it's kind of ubiquitous in Japan. So, yeah, use that. And then I like to have this big head, shoulders, knees, and toes smack down. Now, I know I said don't ever translate a song, don't have a song translation, use songs that are indigenous to the culture and everything, but head, shoulders, knees, and toes, I like to do. I teach 3 languages. So this is a great inter-class competition. So what I do is during class time, I have the students get in groups of 1 through 6. And I tell them that they're going to have to sing the song through twice. That way I can make sure everyone's lips are moving. And I tell them you can lip sync while your teammates sing, but I have to see your lips moving so that I know that you know the body parts. Okay, so I tell the students we're going to learn it today. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to practice. Tomorrow I'm going to give you 5 minutes to practice. The day after I'm going to give you 5 minutes to practice, and then you're going to perform it for the class. And then later on we'll have our big inter-class smackdown. Okay, so I tell them, all right, so you're about to practice. You can choose to sing it as fast as possible. That's kind of traditional, right? You could choose to sing it as slow as possible. You could choose to sing it backwards. I've had students do all the body parts backwards. Okay, as long as they're pointing to the right body part, everything's okay. You can point to other people. So I get groups coming up and they point to one person's toes and then they point to the other person's shoulders, or they have a pattern that they do it in. You could choose to do it like Mickey Mouse, like a pirate. I had one group of students did it like Obama after he first got elected. That was really funny. You could choreograph it however you want. My very favorite ever was I had a group of cheerleaders that made this absolutely wonderful little dance to it, little cheer dance. And I'm so sorry that I didn't whip out my phone and start recording them because it was great. You can do it in a round. I've had students sing it in a round where one person starts and does it, and then the next person starts and does it, but they're doing it in a round. Or whatever you like. Your students are creative. You can give them the freedom to choose what they want to do with the song. Then at the end of the year, we have this huge multicultural festival for the entire school. We take over this little parking lot in front of our portables, and we do lots of stuff. And this is where we have our giant head, shoulders, knees, and toes smackdown between all the language classes. And we'll do it in small groups, or we'll do it everybody, all French students get over here, all Spanish students get over here, all Japanese students get over here. And then we award candy and points. But, you know, if nothing else, nobody has forgotten their body parts ever. I'm going to say probably If You're Happy and You Know It will also work well here. I was asked to sing If You're Happy and You Know It in Japanese on stage when I lived in Japan. So it's pretty ubiquitous there too. That's a long story. But anyway, I talked in an earlier chapter about incorporating dance, which gets you both the culture and some word repetition. So you put that in there. All right. In our next chapter, we're going to talk about more musical games. We're on part 4. Hope to see you there.